Welcome to July 5th, 2026. The Singularity is discovering that intelligence, pushed far enough, bends back to face itself. Jürgen Schmidhuber argues that the one constant across training and rollouts is the model itself, so a mind should learn to model itself to better predict its next token. If self-knowledge is the frontier, orchestration is the near ground, and a hobbyist reverse-engineered Sakana's Fugu into Tiny Router, an approximately 10,000 parameter conductor that beat every model on MMLU by handing each question to the right specialist. Raw scale still matters, as Google's rumored Gemini 3.5 Pro may ship a 2 million token context, doubling Anthropic's Opus and Fable. On Fable itself, Google's Andy Conan credits three ingredients: sheer scale, relentless long-horizon agentic RL, and a constitution that turns thousands of decisions into one legible compass. Anthropic's prompting guide confirms that recipe, promising longer autonomous runs and classifiers that reroute cyber and bio requests to Opus 4.8, while Simon Willison relays that letting Fable exercise judgment beats dictating rules and conserves tokens before a price hike. That judgment is now aimed at discovery. A new framework measures how far machine research ideas drift from human taste, finding that LLMs cluster around bridge and synthesis gaps while humans roam wider. Alibaba's Elements Claw put that narrowness to work, screening 2.4 million crystals in 28 GPU hours and surfacing 4 verified superconductors. The application layer is molting just as fast. One builder declares that Fable managing subagents made hand coding worthless, leaving accountability as the only value left in us meatbags. Whimsy trails utility, as Fable turned an e-ink tablet into Tom Riddle's diary where prompts fade and a spirit replies, and Google imagined the founding fathers co-editing the declaration with AI. Fittingly, the human microtask era it replaced is closing, as Amazon winds down Mechanical Turk, the 2005 marketplace that survived by labeling AI's training data. Making minds this cheap requires making silicon cheaper. Sam Zalouf renamed Atomic Semi to Fab 2, a fab spanning an Austin chip fab, a Lockhart fab, and a San Francisco garage, all wired to a browser EDA tool. To debug that silicon, ETH Zurich floated a single trapped ion in a penning trap to map chip fields in 3D down to 10 nanovolts per meter. Nations are bidding for the build-out, as Macron and Modi personally court CEOs, landing 75 billion euros from SoftBank for France and a record $48 billion from Amazon for India. The compute is growing legs. Noose Research's Hermes now inhabits a robo-dog that sees, hears, and talks, while an F-35B stole the National Mall's America 250 show in full hover mode. Tesla, meanwhile, may soon demand facial recognition before full self-driving engages, gamified with streak days. Beneath the software, the hardware quietly over-delivers, as EV batteries outlast their doubters past hundreds of thousands of miles, dissolving the anxiety that once kept buyers away. America is bolting together the first ribs of a Dyson swarm, and Europe has flinched first. An ESO study warns that 1.7 million proposed satellites, including orbital data centers and sunlight mirrors, could blind astronomy, urging a 100,000 cap. The same age teaching silicon to model itself is racing to keep the biological self from unraveling. An annual pipeline report now counts 158 Alzheimer's drugs across 192 trials, revealing a decade-long pivot from amyloid toward inflammation and immunity, while a Loma Linda study links a 5 eggs a week diet to a 27% lower risk of the disease. History is being reread with the same instruments. Researchers found that the hobbits of Flores ate what the dragons left behind and never mastered fire, while triple DNA forensics gave a name back to a Continental soldier in a shallow 1780 Camden grave, John Pumphrey, who enlisted at 13, just before America's 250th. Older secrets are surfacing too, as the president told his new intelligence chief to declassify almost everything. His UAP advisors accused defense contractors of running craft retrieval programs, and whistleblowers launched Vanguard to shield those who talk. Even birds are being decoded, as Berkeley's Julie Ely won the Collar Doolittle Prize for translating 11 zebrafinch calls. Ownership is being rewritten last. The Treasury launched 530A accounts, an early move toward universal basic equity that seeds every eligible child with a $1,000 stake in capital markets, not a cash handout tracked through a Robinhood app. The nation marked its 250th with a world record 851,000 fireworks, even as networked war blurs the line between corporate and national security and turns data centers into targets. Mark Andreessen expects America to reach 90% of global market cap, and wealthy families are pulling kids towards schools like Forge Prep, built for 2040, not 1940. It takes a startup to raise a child.